Hi, it's Lee. Welcome to another Learn English with Lee grammar video. And this video is a very important video because we're going to start talking about modal verbs. But this video is only an introduction. Modal verbs are a very difficult topic in English, and lots of students from different countries and different levels, even advanced level students, make mistakes with modal verbs. So this video is only an introduction. In English, we have 9 modal verbs. They are can, could, should, must, will, would, might, may, and shall. And all modal verbs have the same function. They change the meaning of the sentence, but the different modal verbs have different meanings, so they change the sentence in a different way. For example, can talks about your ability. So, for example, I can speak English. そしてちょっと日本語を話せます。And I can also speak a little bit Japanese. But I can't speak French. However, 20 years ago in high school, I spoke French. So for the modal verb, we can use could. 20 years ago, I could speak French. So we can use could to talk about ability in the past. So can is ability in the present, could is ability in the past. But we also use could to talk about possibility in the present. So for example, today is a very sunny day, so I could go shopping, I could go to the park. So could is a little bit difficult because it has 2 meanings: ability in the past and possibility in the present. We use should to give advice, to give people a good idea. For example, I want to be healthy, so it's a good idea to go to the gym. So I should go to the gym, but I can choose. Must is for necessary things. You cannot choose. You must eat. You must drink water. You cannot choose. You don't eat, you die. So you must eat. You must drink water. No choice. We use will to talk about the future. So for example, it will be sunny tomorrow. The party will be fun. I will call you back. Would is a little bit more difficult. We use would in 3 different ways. We use it for conditional sentences, second and third conditional sentences. For example, if I were you, I would study modal verbs a lot. We also use it for polite phrases. Would you like a glass of water? I would like to order the pasta. Would you mind opening the window? So these are kind of fixed phrases, and they're usually very polite. We also use would with used to talk about your past habits. For example, I used to live in Japan, and when I lived in Japan, I would go to karaoke once a month. I would often go to the noodle bar after work. Might is talking about possibility in the present. So I look outside, I can see some black clouds, and I think, it might rain later. Teacher, question. Is it the same as could for present possibility? Good question. Might and could are actually very, very similar. And in most situations, you can use both. But there is a very small difference, so I've made a special video looking at this. May has two meanings. The first meaning is similar to might, so possibility in the present, but more polite. So I can say, black clouds in the sky, it may rain later. And this is okay, but it sounds a little bit polite. We also use may to ask for permission. Is it okay to do? So maybe you are in a meeting or you're in your classroom and you want to leave the room. So you ask your boss or you ask your teacher, may I leave the room? You're asking, is it okay for me to leave the room? And again, it's very polite. Shall is very similar to will. It's talking about the future. But these days, we usually only use it with first person, so I or we, and to make a question, usually a suggestion. So for example, shall I, it's hot in here, shall I open a window? Or maybe you see somebody in a club who you really like and you go, shall we dance? Those are the meanings of the modal verbs in English. Now let's look at the grammar and how to use the modal verbs. And the good thing is that the rules to use the modal verbs are always the same. If you look at these examples, where do we put the modal verb? Before or after the main verb? Before. Always before. I will go. I could be. It might rain. Another important point is the modal verb never changes. So no ing, ed or s. I musting, I musted, I musts, never. So the modal verb never changes. So what about the main verb? Well, the main verb is always the bare infinitive. What does it mean, bare infinitive? It means the infinitive. It means the dictionary verb. So to go, to have, to eat, to laugh, to dance, to be, to go, to come. So the dictionary verb. But the bare infinitive is without to. So we never use to after a modal verb. I must to eat. I might to go. So we never use to with the main verb. And because it's the infinitive, we also never use ing, never use ed, never use s with the main verb also. So for example, I can play guitar, he can plays guitar, no. So I can play guitar, you can play guitar, he can play guitar, she can play guitar. So don't change the main verb either. The main verb is always the infinitive without to. Okay, so let's quickly review our 3 rules for using modal verbs. Number 1, put the modal verb before the main verb. Number 2, never change the modal verb. Number 3, the main verb is always the dictionary verb without to, without ing, without ed, and without s. So that is my introduction to modal verbs. As I said before, modal verbs are a very big topic in English, a very difficult topic in English. Lots of languages do not have modal verbs. So really understanding and really using modal verbs correctly is a very difficult thing for many students. So please watch my other modal verb videos, and I will make many more modal verb videos, so don't worry, and hopefully these will help you understand this very difficult topic. Thank you very much for watching. Please ask me some questions in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in another video.